Hey everybody, this is Jimmy out at the mountain, and I am at the very south end of this part of the wall. And it's a big wall. It continues down into the distance off my property. We're not going to talk about that part. We're going to talk about this part right here. And if you can see, we're here on a roadway, a pathway, a place people walked. They walked all the way through the woods, down the mountain, all the way to the Connecticut River Valley, which is 1 mile as a crow flies. If you could fly like a crow, you'd be there before you knew it. But to get here, you had to climb the mountain. It's a steep mountain, rising about 900 feet above the Connecticut River Valley, and it's a long walk up the back side of the mountain, where there's all ridges all the way up. On that side of the property, running north-south, just like this wall, and with stones, I think even bigger, and it's all covered in trees. It's really hard to even walk there, but it's there, and that's about 11 acres away. Runs north-south, just like this wall, and I've seen stone tools in the wall. It's very similar to this wall. But you'd come through that wall in an opening and up a trail. And you'd come to some stone cairns. 1, 2, 3 split rock cairns. And that brings you up to a standing stone on the crest of the ridge. And the crest over here you can see east. And if you swing around, you can see the west. It's a perfect spot for sighting the horizon. So it's a perfect spot to have two very straight walls. You can see one of the cairns in the distance over there, right there. And next to that is a quarry to the left of it, where a lot of white stone has come out of. And there's a hill up there, which is what I consider the knob of the mountain. It's a natural three-sided pyramid type shape. And the top of this mountain is sediment and quartz, lots of it. That's why they were here. And plus it was a perfect place to build walls that has some sort of significance, I think. And I could only say that because of what I see here. And I don't know much about it except for that. Now this wall looks very low, and that's because this is a trail and a lot of sediment grew up. A lot of leaves over the years go against the wall, and I'm sure underneath this ground here are stones. And you can dig down in there and pull up big stones and other structures. And they're there. And you can see how big this kind of thing can be, these walls that they made. And, well, I put myself in their position. How would I get these stones up this hill? This is the exact top of the ridge. Stones fall downhill. They don't fall uphill. So these stones had to be brought here somehow. They're big, heavy stones. And why would they be brought up here? Why wouldn't they be rolled downhill? Well, they have a significance. That's all I can say. And to do that kind of work. And if you look at these stones, some of them will look like they've been carved and done all stuff too. And I have seen a lot of stones in the walls that have been carved and shaped. They didn't just place them here. They put stone circles on top of the walls. Places I guess they revered, maybe did religious things or spiritual things. There's white stone in certain places in the wall, and they're usually places that I would call special. You might see, because look at the cavern in there. I haven't put my hand in there. I'm afraid to. I might do it right now. Let's see. There's a stone right there I can see. It's loose, but it's wedged in there. Pretty good. Well, I think what I'm going to do is leave that one alone. And hollows or holes in the walls, chambers are built, and they're significant. And I can tell you that because I've found artifacts in the walls. And like I said before, they were used as a bank or a vault, specially built. And here's another giant white stone. And it's a natural walkway to go down. And you can see the descending stairway. And when you walk down, you can see how far you'd have to carry those stones up. There's a megalithic chamber with corbelled walls and giant stone roof, where actually those trees are growing out beyond the pine tree. I haven't even, except for going in it once, haven't explored it. But this is the wall I want to show you, the other side of that wall that was all grown in. We can see it here. I'm going to try to get you a wide shot of it. It's a pretty big section. A lot of stones went up there. It's not as long a section as other parts of the wall, but it's very well built. And you can see how the horizon ridgeline droops and it keeps a straight line. There's a reason for that. And I only say that because these things are well built. And we walk towards it, we can see right through the wall. And we're actually looking at that eastern horizon I showed you. And there's an animal figure in there. And you walk up closer to it, if I can get up here. What you see is this odd stone that looks like a foot. And then you see this stone, and we're talking big heavy stones, and we're talking fitted stones like this. Okay, these are fitted in here, and they're big, and the bases on them are very big, and there's a hole going through it that looks like a howling wolf or something like that. But how do you build that? Well, let's back up. There's another hole. Let's see if we can see the horizon through there. That would be interesting. I'm not really sure, but I think so. You can see the trees in the distance. Up on the top of the snout. That's the horizon. That's where it would be from here. So you can see it. There's other holes too. This one right here has that shape. You see that? Is that cool or what? Let's get a better look at it. The howling. It's a shapeshifter. See it? Is that cool or what? Now let's back up and see something really cool. That foot there. Okay. The foot. The body. Another leg with his foot going that way. The body. And the rest of the body. Looks like a caveman climbing over the wall. To me. That's just me. Whether it's that or not, I don't know. But he sure has long arms, and they turn into that piece of bedrock that looks like electricity coming out of his fingertips. So I'm gonna place that there. Carved it out here, just like that, and put that in there because they loved it. The only reason you could do that, you had a reason and you loved it. Then you come over here to the right a little bit, and I talked about cairns in walls, and it's similar what's here, which is we're looking east now, not west. We're the Serpent wall. We were looking at west on the Serpent wall. We're looking east here because we see the eastern horizon. And this here is a cairn, right here. Sorry about the focus. And you can see they have a split up to a point. Okay, follow that curving split naturally up. And you'll come to, what do you come to? those tunnels in the walls, those holes. It points you to something, okay? And let's look at the stone on top. I call him, well, I don't know. Looks like a Ninja Turtle to me, doesn't he? And if you back up, he certainly looks like a guy with the two legs at the bottom, a body, Ninja Turtle head, and big long arms that sort of connect to that guy. So I call this a caveman wall. He even has a heart. He has a heart. You want to see it? Look at it. It's a white stone. And you can see right through it. And look at the shapes. See it? Is this cool or what? You can't make this stuff up. And you can't build it on a Saturday afternoon. This is a major undertaking. If not just getting the stone up here, but to build this thing. I'm slipping down the hill. And you can see how the stones descend and how steep it is down there. I'm just hanging on here. So we'll go up here. There's a white stone there. This is the end of that cairn, I believe. And it's quite a work. And I'm going to show you some of the stones in it. Zorro's on that one, and that's a big, huge stone. That's a capstone. That's on the top. And they run along the top. Up to the Ninja Turtle. Over to the caveman. Climbing over the wall. And his foot runs over here. Where you see this feature. And it sort of melts into the wall over here. And up here is a big stone circle. A little messy, but I've never moved it around. It naturally gets moved around. Let's get on the top of the wall here for a second. I'll show you how big it is. How big these stones are I'm talking about. That's how big they are. And that's how high I am up. That's the western horizon. Okay? Alright. There's a big one here. Big one there. All these huge stones. All to do what? Well, it has something to do with those holes in the wall, I think. And the horizon. And they all look alike. That's the cool part. And I say that because you look for repetition and shapes. And I was talking about that yesterday, about the shapes. And this is a perfect example of that. Shapes. And you see the same shapes farther up in the snake wall. The serpent part of the wall. Which suggests possibly the same people built both parts of the wall. There's a descending staircase. All the holes in the wall. You'll see features like that sometimes. See that heart in there? That heart of stone? And it's in there for a reason. I'm not putting my hand in there. It is a serpent wall, by the way. Okay, let's go this way. Just some nice stuff. There's the niche. The other side of it. Well, we're talking chambers. Let's look at a chamber. Now this one I did go through a long time ago. Well, a few weeks ago. Not really knowing what was here, but being curious. When I saw this place and recognized it for what it might be or what it is, which is a place to gather, you can see the bedrock, which usually runs north-south, has a spur going east-west, enclosed by the wall, and another one, about the same size but a little higher, which encloses this area. And these trees are big, probably planted a long time after people were here, doing what they were doing. And this was actually covered up by granite, which moved pretty easily, but it was there. And inside this hole were only what I could describe, in my experience, as shaman stones. And maybe they were used for teaching, I don't know. Look at this. Look at the shape. I had to pull a stone out so you could see that shape. That's how they built these things, with purpose. And a couple dozen stones came out of this hole. And I'll show them to you sometime. Well, if you like mammoths and Ice Age animals, you'll see them in these stones because they were carved in them. And the first time I saw anything that looked like an elephant carved in a stone, it really intrigued me because now we're talking elephants. And I'm told the Ice Age was receding 12,000 years ago up here, up in the Champlain Valley. And the Champlain Sea was left, and people were Ice Age hunters, which is all true. And maybe they came down this way. And how do we tell that? Did people come south? Did they go north? Did people mingle here? Someone was here doing something, and it has to do with the horizon, north-south lines, and the east-west lines. And of course, a place like this would only make you think, knowing what was in the hole, that this is a place of mystery for people, or learning. I call it learning, a place to learn. And some of the stones were very ancient looking to my eye. I'm not an expert by any means, but I do this every day. I'm not going to talk much more about those stones until I show them to you. I just want to show you a little bit about the caveman wall and how a wall can be so intricate and meaningful. And I'm going to put the word sacred in there because I think that's what it is for me. I can't say for those people. I can only say for myself right now. There's another hole. Another one that goes down under the ground. And if you look at it that way, in a term sacred, you can see maybe that was one impetus for putting all this work in here and doing such a good job. But were they looking at the stars? Were they looking at the sun going by? What were they doing here? Why do people look at the stars and the sun? Are they asking questions? What are those questions? Do we ask those questions? I don't know. But every one of us is familiar with these symbols. Star stones, which represent the sun, the universe, the heavens. The serpent, which can represent life from the earth. Stones carved into these symbols can represent those things that these people saw and cherished. And I use those words, these people, lightly because I don't know who they were. There may be different civilizations involved, there may not be. We're going to find out. Okay. One more shot of the spiral. Yesterday I had an idea. Just to look at this big stone. Looks like it was shaped deliberately to put in there. Just my thought. It looks that way, and I had another thought. Yesterday when I tapped this piece of quartz. Wow, that's my finger. That, to me, means something. The acoustics of the wall. What does that mean? Does it mean anything? Is it natural? I don't know. It's the first time I've asked that question. What do you think? This is Jimmy and Zorro on Jimmy and Zorro's Great Adventures. Thank you for watching.